probably clicked on this thumbnail because you want to know how to find beta readers for your book. Hi, I'm Lindsay Elizabeth, and I am a self-published indie author, and I currently have 2 books out right now. If you've written a book and you want to publish it, typically the next step is to get other eyes on it, which can be terrifying when you're a writer. You don't really want people to read your work, even though that's the main goal of publishing. And that's exactly what beta readers are. They're the kind of the first people who see a slightly polished version of your book. Typically, this would come after alpha readers if you do alpha readers, but I know not everybody does. Personally, I just skip right to the beta readers after I've gone through a few drafts of my book and polished it up to my standards as a rough draft. This draft would be nowhere near publishing, but at least it's good enough for other people to see and give their critical feedback on. So that's exactly what beta readers do. I would kind of say that they're like a litmus test to your ideal audience, so you want to make sure that you're picking your beta readers fairly carefully. I know that some people offer beta reading services, but for the most part, beta reading should be free because there are so many people who will do it for free. Now, beta readers do a lot of work, but they're not like professionals, they're not editors, and they're not proofreaders. Typically, beta readers will give you feedback on the story, the plot, the characters, if the dialogue felt real, and I'll actually give you a list of like 20 questions that I would ask a beta reader. I'll make that into a separate video because otherwise this one would get really long. So once that's out there, I will link it somewhere either on this video or in the description. So now that we kind of have an idea of what a beta reader is, let's talk about some places where you can find them because that's arguably the hardest part. First off, Facebook groups. Facebook is, if you're not on Facebook anymore or you never were, there's actually some good corners of Facebook, Meta, whatever you want to call it, where there are reader or writer groups. There's even just beta and ARC reader groups. And if you don't know about ARC readers, I can make another video on that. Just let me know in the comments if you want to see that. You can also check either on Facebook or on NaNoWriMo.org. and check your local groups to see if there are any members that would either want to read your work or maybe even swap works as like critique partners, which we can go over that in another video too if you want. But there are tons of Facebook groups out there for readers and writers alike and people that need beta readers and beta readers that are looking for books to beta read. I feel like I should start counting how many times I say beta in this video. Another place you can go to on the internet is Reddit. Personally, I'm not on Reddit all that much, and I don't know how it works all that well, but I do know that there are subreddits for writers, readers, and beta readers, just like there would be on Facebook. You do want to make sure that if you're in these communities, you are kind of participating in these communities, and you want it to be like genuine connections and interactions with people, rather than just popping in, saying, hey, I need somebody's help, and then never interacting again. So you want to make sure that you are kind of building your online presence in these communities on social media. Another way to get beta readers is by simply asking your network. Ask your friends, ask your family if they want to read your book, if it's their type of genre that they enjoy reading. Personally, I've had a couple of friends who like that spicy dark fantasy, and they've read my book and given feedback, which I find tremendously helpful. They're kind of like my ideal reader, so that's great, but you also have to make sure that they're not doing it out of pressure or doing it as a favor, but they're not really going to enjoy the book. You also want to make sure that if your friends and family are reading your book, they can actually be critical about it and not just tell you, as much as we want to hear it, that it's amazing. Although we all love New Girl, we can't all be Nick with no notes.
No notes.
No notes.
No notes.
No notes?
No notes.
No notes.
No notes.
No notes.
No notes. It's perfect.
And honestly, I wouldn't ever want someone to say that they loved every single thing about my book. I would never want to give somebody a draft and then say, publish this as is, no notes. I know you're never going to please everyone with your writing or the story you're going to tell, but getting feedback is critical to making the story better. The fourth place to find beta readers is reaching out to your social media network. If you're on any social media channels as an author, documenting your writing journey, your publishing journey, or anything like that, I would definitely recommend that you reach out to your own network. Personally, I have found TikTok to be kind of the most community building app that I've been on. Instagram, for me, it's a little hard to gain traction. Facebook is pretty much just my immediate friends and family. So I would recommend starting a TikTok or even So put out a call on any social media platform that you feel comfortable saying that you're looking for beta readers. And usually people will jump at that because people love getting a free book, essentially. And also if they can leave their opinion on something and you not get offended because it's a critique, more power to them. If people aren't really biting, you can try to incentivize them with doing some kind of a giveaway or letting them know that you would acknowledge them in the back of your book once it's published. And you do want to be actually genuinely extremely grateful for your beta readers because beta readers are giving you their time and their effort for free. I mean, you're giving them a book to read, but it's a lot more than that. As an expert tip, if you're building up your social media following, you should also be collecting people's email addresses if they're interested in your book, beta reading, ARC reading, or anything like that. Build up an email newsletter list or even just like a simple Google Docs form that people can fill out so that you have their name, their email address, and why they're interested in your work. That way, later on, you basically have a captive audience of people that you know like your stuff. So when you're looking for beta and ARC readers later on, when you publish more books, they're right there. I do also want to talk about just some other things to keep in mind when you're looking for beta readers and looking to get that feedback. For newer authors, it can be kind of jarring to get critiques and feedback if you're not used to it, being in a setting where you've had your work ripped apart in front of your eyes. I've seen some shit. So some quick other tips to keep in mind when you're looking for beta readers and getting ready for that feedback is to, like I said earlier, but just I want to make it a point, be involved in the community and actually be genuine in appreciating the valuable effort of anybody who's helped you with your book. Although writing is kind of a solitary sport, so to speak, publishing is very much a team effort, whether you're hiring a cover designer or an editor or you need beta feedback. I don't think anyone can actually publish a book by themselves. No other involvement ever. It's a community effort. So keep that in mind and know that you will have to make friends. When you're looking for your beta readers, it's important to know how much feedback you're looking for. Usually when you reach out to a bunch of beta readers, you'll only actually get a certain percentage that actually respond and comment and give you kind of the amount of feedback that you need. So it's important to pick kind of a manageable number. I've heard some people pick 20 beta readers, and I honestly can't imagine having nearly that much feedback. Personally, I would try to keep it on the smaller side of people who are actually responding and giving their feedback, maybe 3 to 5, just to get a little bit of a wide lens, but not so overwhelming that you have no idea what you're doing. Also, as you're getting feedback, keep in mind that you know your story the best and you know how you want it to be told. People will have opinions all day long about what you could change or your characters or the plot or the setting or anything. And if you're not used to getting feedback or critiques, it can be really overwhelming. So just keep in mind that everything is an opinion. You're never going to make everybody happy. And you can change or not change whatever you want. The last thing to keep in mind is this is really an ongoing process. So if you have beta readers that really enjoyed beta reading for you and they want to see how the story progresses, keep in touch with them and maybe they can beta read your next draft after you've made a bunch of edits. You also want to keep in touch with them somehow, whether it's through an email newsletter or social media, because like I said earlier, when you start publishing more books, you'll have that kind of captive audience and people that you can really rely on who you know enjoy your work and want to work with you that you can call on later when you need more beta readers. If you're writing a book and you want to get into publishing, I hope this video was helpful for you. And if you want to know more about the writing or publishing process, or even design and marketing, that is my bread and butter. So feel free to leave me any comments about things you want to know anywhere in the writing sphere or design sphere or marketing sphere. But I do want to focus this channel a little bit more on writing because that is kind of my zone of genius. Not saying I'm a genius, but writing is one of the things that has really stuck with me throughout the years, through all of the hobbies I've had and career changes I've made. And so writing just has this really special place in my heart. I know I've made some videos on this channel before about marketing and other kind of random things like print on demand. I do want to still talk about those things, but I want it to be more so in the scope of as an author or as a writer or through the publishing journey. So if you're following me just for my Redbubble tags or Redbubble earnings, I probably won't be making too many videos like that. Although I do still plan to do some side hustle stuff and maybe report on the income at the end of the year, but I don't want to get too into too many niches on this channel at once. So I hope this was helpful, and if it was, please give me a thumbs up, share this video, and hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any other videos like this. All right, this has been Beta Readers with Lindsay Elizabeth. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day wherever you are. Bye.